In 1982, homeless Tag left an alternate dimension to achieve nothing, quickly being cut from the junior league, semi-pro, amateur, interleague basketball team. He cannot fight his way out of a paper bag. He lives a life of boredom and slothfulness, loneliness and depression. Noticed by none, smelled by all. He is the world's least interesting man.
Keep reading, my friends.
Welcome back to One Shot Presents. This time on One Shot, we're just gonna go straight into Trevor Time. And this time on Trevor Time, we're gonna continue with our segment on creating your own comic book story. This time, we're gonna do some thumbnailing of our script.
Man, where were you? You're 20 minutes late.
Dude, traffic.
Traffic. The baby is asleep. She's been fed and changed. If you lay low, she should be really cool.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, man, I gotta go.
Rick's got some expensive stuff in here. I'll save that for later. Beer.
Nice. Thumbnails are basically the blueprint of the story and how the story advances itself. This is where we're going to work out things like panel placement and the placement of the balloons, also the pacing and the timing in the story. Also, this should help you develop some sort of a shorthand for the visual look of your characters to make them a little more distinctive and a little easier and a little quicker to draw. All right, now we're ready to actually start thumbnailing these things. Now you can use the official blue line form. It's all printed in non-photo blue. Got a couple little note lines there. These are kind of expensive, guys. They're all right, they work pretty good. On the cheap end, you can just do this, just quarter piece of paper, make your thumbnails right on that. I, however, like these. I created these myself. They have the registration marks on the side, so you can line up your panels across there. Makes it nice and easy. I put the little note lines in here so you can write notes, things like dialogue that comes to you while you're laying it out, or reference material that you're going to need, or just any kind of note that you think is pertinent to the story. Plus it gives you a place for the title, the issue, and the page number. Nice little things, just go right to our site and you can download them right off there. Just give me 5 more minutes, 5 more minutes. Yeah, she's fine, she's fine. No, that's just the TV, you're just hearing the TV. Yeah, I'll talk to her, bye. Thumbnails are just quick representations of how the story is going to be paced out. You shouldn't spend a whole lot of time with these things, maybe about 10 minutes per. This is a good place though for you to figure out things like where the characters are going to be placed and how they're going to interact with each other. Also, this is a good place to start directing the action of the characters. Someone's thirsty. In conclusion, thumbnails are where you're going to find the kinks in your storytelling. This is going to aid you in the flow of the dialogue and the flow of the action in your story. Next time, we're going to start actually blocking out the story, putting some pencils on paper. Till then, it's Trevor Time. I know what these guys are complaining about. Childcare is easy.
Man, why does she smell like a bowling alley? What did Trevor feed her? Anyway, for this week's action figure review, I've chosen Takara Tomy's Pop and Step. Okay, let me give you a backstory on these. My buddy Masashi, who's from Japan, went on vacation. And me and my wife just had a kid, and he thought, look, I want to find something that doesn't take a lot of space, but can provide hours of entertainment for a kid. And he came back with this. This is cool. As you can see, I have Mickey, and he's about to start dancing. Not only that, but they sing and they dance, and they, as you can probably hear the little song. But what's really even cool about these is that you grab the others. He brought me 3, and they all dance and sing. This is a great toy. My little girl's only 2 months old, but she is in love with these because she can stare at them for hours, and they sing and they dance. Now, they do sing and dance in Japanese, but I think that that's what's cool about them. Now, the drawback to this toy is that I don't know where you can find them. I'm assuming that you can go to takaratomy.com and probably get them there. And I don't know how much they retail for, but I will find out and I will collect them all. I think that these are great toys, especially for little kids. You should go out and get them. Out of 5, I'm gonna have to give them a 5.
This year at Comic-Con, we talked to a lot of cool cats. This week we're going to show you an exclusive interview with Lenil and Robert Kirkman. All right, you guys know this guy, Lenil. You. Thanks for being on the show.
I'm glad to be here, and thanks for interviewing me and covering this event here. Thanks.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this. I mean, every fanboy's dream working on the Avengers. What's a dream project for you now that you've worked on something as huge as the Avengers?
Oh, I don't. Everything is downhill from here. Downhill from here is I've done Secret Invasion and New Avengers, and I think I've done pretty much the best books that I could think of, and I'm very happy, and I'm so glad that Marvel has been very kind to me, and I don't know. I'm just jazzed right now. But I want to talk about my next project, which is I think just as big and it's interesting. It's Ultimate Avengers with Mark Millar, and I think that's just a great project, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, and one other thing, I'm reading interviews with you in Wizard or on different comic book websites. You seem to take criticism pretty well. Like it seems like you kind of roll with the punches when people have given you heat, like, oh, you need to draw women better. You're always saying, hey, I'm working on it. But I think they're pretty sexy to me. But where does that come from? Where does that optimism come from?
It's reading reviews. I'm staying away from reviews as often as possible. I just read as few reviews as possible, and and that's how I roll with punches. I don't read that much reviews, to be honest, just because it kind of affects work. And what I do is just after I'm finished with a series, that's when I read the reviews and take a hit and take it in and breathe and try to improve myself. But I don't constantly read reviews. If I do that every month, that might kind of affect me in a negative way.
So when does Ultimate Avengers come out?
I think it's the issue number 1 is coming out next month, but I'm not doing that. I think it's with Carlos Pacheco, and my arc will be starting issue number 7, so it's coming out early next year.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much, man. Always awesome. We're here with Robert Kirkman, who's a good enough sport to be on the show. We support him, though, and bash him occasionally.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your new book.
New book, Haunt. Todd McFarlane and I are working on it together. We got Ryan Otley over here doing pencils over Greg Capullo's layouts, and Mr. Todd McFarlane is inking it. It's going to be an awesome action horror extravaganza. It's debuting in October. You're going to have to check that out.
Very cool. Well, thanks so much, man. We appreciate it.
Well, that's our show for this week. Thank you for joining us. We want to thank Night Flight Comics, the greatest comic book store in the world. We also want to thank Comics Nexus and Graffiti Design. Before I go, I want to introduce the world to my daughter, Sophia Estrada. She was born March 20th. She's the greatest thing. And yeah, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week. Now, the drawback is that they talk in Japanese, which is kind of messed up, but it's not messed up. Why would it be messed up?
Very good.
You know how many skulls I crack? Scroll.